They say you can fool some of the people some of the time, but Prime Minister Keir Starmer has just learned you can't fool British veterans twice. In a dramatic turn of events, Starmer was reportedly blocked from attending a high-profile VE Day ceremony after veterans threatened to boycott the event if he appeared. On the 80th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day, meant to honour the nation's heroes, those very heroes turned their backs on the man leading the country. Sources close to organisers say the backlash was swift. The moment Starmer's attendance was announced, regimental associations and British Legion chapters flooded organisers with messages. If he's there, we're not. This wasn't about party politics, it was about trust and betrayal. Veterans who sacrificed for Britain say they've had enough of being used for photo ops, while real support never materialises. Starmer promised sweeping reforms, better mental health care, housing, dignity in retirement, but veterans say those promises remain unfulfilled. The £50 million Veterans Village scheme, once touted as a game-changer, is now being mocked as a shallow PR move. Many veterans say they see more red tape and delays than real help. One veteran, 92-year-old Harold Jenkins, who stormed the beaches of Normandy, put it plainly, "He's got no right standing beside us." Corporal Lisa Drummond, who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, added, "Every year we hear the same promises. Starmer is no different. He pretends to care but does nothing." On a day meant to mark triumph over tyranny, veterans made their own stand. Starmer attempted to defuse the situation with a letter praising the armed forces, but it only made things worse. Veterans sleeping rough, struggling with mental health, or trapped in bureaucracy saw the words as hollow. For many, this wasn't just political, it was personal. Ultimately, the threat of a boycott forced organisers to remove Starmer from the programme. Downing Street declined to comment, but insiders say the Prime Minister was surprised and disappointed. The message from veterans, however, couldn't have been clearer. Words aren't enough, and trust must be earned. This comes at a tough moment for Starmer's government, already under pressure from rising crime, public sector unrest, and an uncertain economy. Being publicly rejected by veterans is more than a snub. It's symbolic of a deeper crisis of credibility. VE Day events proceeded without him. Veterans gathered, the flypast thundered overhead, and the country paused to remember. But Starmer wasn't in the picture, and that silence said everything. Respect isn't bought with speeches, it's earned. And right now, Starmer has lost it. In other news, Florence Eshelomey, a South London MP and head of the Housing Committee, emphasised that solving the housing crisis requires more family-sized social homes. She cited the need for at least 90,000 new social homes annually and criticised the lack of progress. Most London boroughs hadn't started new housing construction in early 2025. A Centre for London report revealed 3 in 5 renters say their rent is unaffordable. Over half ranked housing as a top issue. The report highlighted that London faces upfront housing development costs of £2.2 billion, 43 times higher than the West Midlands, discouraging developers. London councils reported 90,000 children living in temporary accommodation, or roughly 1 per classroom. Antonia Jennings of the Centre for London called for bold, sweeping solutions, warning that recent government reforms were only small first steps. Residents in Eshelomey's constituency shared frustrations. Families needing 3- or 4-bedroom homes are often forced to wait a decade, living in overcrowded or unstable housing. One woman has moved 6 times in 10 years, another pays £1,600 for a 2-bedroom flat and has waited 11 years for suitable accommodation. A Lambeth Council spokesperson acknowledged the growing pressure. Homelessness has increased 50% in 2 years, and housing costs may hit £100 million this year. Boroughs across London are projected to overspend by over £700 million, with homelessness driving much of the crisis. Meanwhile, Starmer, along with European leaders and US President Donald Trump, called for a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine. Framed as a tribute to World War II sacrifices, the move aimed to emphasize peace over conflict on VE Day. But back home, his absence from Britain's own commemorations speaks volumes. With over 336,000 households on social housing waiting lists, the highest in years, the message is clear. The country needs real action, not more promises.